Let's revisit the Galaxy Z Fold 7 around half a year later after its launch. The Z Fold 7 was the most improved phone of 2025, and so many things got better with this phone, like a super thin and lightweight design, a new hinge, and much more. But here, let's see if it can be used as your daily driver in 2026. The cover screen got so much better with this phone, you can continue to use the outer display without the need for a regular slab phone. Although the aspect ratio is a bit odd, it is still way better than the last few generations. I'm using a screen protector on the cover screen, and surprisingly, this flagship phone has no anti-reflective coating on the outer display. You can try Samsung's anti-reflective screen protector film, but it's a bummer that we aren't getting it right out of the box. My inner screen protector is still intact, and there are no visible scratches or scuff marks. Make sure to only use a soft microfiber cloth while cleaning the inner screen. Performance on this phone has been phenomenal. You are getting the same chipset as the one in the Galaxy S25 Ultra, but do make sure that you turn off the virtual RAM option, which is turned on by default. Virtual RAM relies on your device's built-in storage, which is slower than the RAM itself. The Z Fold 7 already has a sufficient 12 gigabytes of RAM, so you don't need that extra virtual feature enabled in the device care settings. One thing that I really don't like about this phone is the charging speed. Maybe Samsung is still cautious so many years later after the Note 7 battery fiasco. Charging speed here is limited to 25 watts, while my Galaxy S25 Ultra can go up to 40 watts. This really makes a difference when you have a super fast charger or power bank. The Z Fold 7 has a bit small battery, and I have to charge it twice per day. The inner display is best if you are into multitasking, but I feel that even to this date, many everyday apps are not optimized for Samsung foldables. Just look at TikTok and Twitter, they are basically just scaled up versions. I'd say YouTube has the best experience while using it on the Galaxy Z Fold. The app is well optimized and it does not look like a scaled up version. The back of the phone has that triple camera setup, which is decent, but once again, not the best if you are a content creator. They take decent photos and videos, but if you compare them with an iPhone, you will start to feel the difference. The back also has no embedded MagSafe magnets, but you can use third-party cases that will do the job. Wireless charging is available, but I don't really use it that much because the phone is super thin and it starts to heat up when charging wirelessly. I'm using this silicone case with my Z Fold 7 and it also helps me open it up. Without this case, it is really a struggle to open the Galaxy Z Fold 7, at least for me, because there is no groove or grip that helps you unfold it easily. The fingerprint scanner on this phone is something I really love. We all pick up our phones and first press the power button, so with this phone, it also unlocks it instantly. I believe it is much better than in-display fingerprint scanners. If you are using a Galaxy Fold 7, then let me know about it. I have seen reports of a few Galaxy Fold 7 units getting their inner screen damaged. For me, so far, it is going really well. Just make sure you apply pressure at the right spot while folding and unfolding your Galaxy Z Fold. With that said, it is a solid phone if you are into productivity and media consumption. But if you are a content creator or post a lot on social media, then you might need to think twice before trying it out. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and with that said, I'll catch you in the next one.